It's crazy because Cleo was right all along.
having a good Friday. Get these levels right. What's happening out there in the crypto world? Let's see. What's up, Janet? What's up, Tazenian? What's up, Craig Crypto? What's up, Diavro? Welcome. It's hanging out on a Friday night. Not too much going on. Let's dive into some stuff. We got some things to talk about. I got my notes from last night ready to go. So that's exciting. Today we're going to be talking about, got some X1 and some XenBlocks updates. Got a lot of people asking how to run a node. So I might set up a node real quick, run through that process, and take a look at the Bitcoin ETF updates. Whew, getting a little hot in here. Let's crack the window. What's up, Mind Body Crypto? Good evening, good evening. But as always, let's get right into it. Take a look at the crypto bubbles over here. And see what's happening. We got kind of a red day. I think there was some disappointment in the market that the Bitcoin ETF wasn't approved today. So there's kind of this natural pullback. But the interesting thing is that Bitcoin isn't really pulling back. It's just all the altcoins right now. So you can see pretty much across the board. We're red on the week, we're red on the day, and there's just kind of a natural pullback. It's nothing too crazy, nothing over 10%. Everything's looking like it's between like 5 and 8% down today. So it might be a good time to grab some, kind of see what happens with the weekend, but there's also always volatility on the weekend. As always, let's go check out our BTC chart over on Coinbase here. Take a look at TradingView. And yeah, I mean, it's so interesting that all these altcoins are pulling back so hard, but we got a big old green candle on the Bitcoin today. Let's zoom into the 4 hours, see if we see anything popping off here. And I mean, that's so volatile. That's what we call a Bart Simpson pattern, where it goes straight up, goes sideways, and comes straight down. Because it looks like a Bart Simpson. So you picture like the wavy hair, got the eye, got the little nose here. It's a Bart Simpson pattern. But we do see we're making higher highs. That's always good. Definitely got some consolidation here. And typically when this happens, it'll explode one way or another. And we're coming up to this golden pocket, and we keep knocking at the door, knocking at the door, knocking at the door. Eventually, we might make a move to the upside here. So that'd be pretty exciting. If we do break through this golden pocket, we might move up to this next golden pocket around 49.50K. That'd be pretty exciting. Otherwise, if we continue to see the ETF stalled, we don't get any good news, we keep getting rejected by the golden pocket, we might see a more bearish scenario where we come off, bounce off it, and fall through the bottom of this pattern here. So we got two different patterns here. We'll see what happens. Kind of color them up, and then we'll come back to them next week, see what happens. Don't think there's going to be any major moves over the weekend here, unless for some reason they come out and approve an ETF, but I don't think that would happen on a Saturday or a Sunday. What's up, Zenthusiast? Welcome, Nomad. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go check out the charts over in the Zen ecosystem, see what's happening with Zen. We had a nice little pump yesterday, but I'll be honest, I haven't really looked at the charts all day. I've been busy at work and then just hanging out after work. Got some dinner, just chilling. So let's see what we got on the charts today. Pull up our main watch list here, and yeah, natural pullback for Zen, down 13%, but it's still holding 604. It's still making higher lows. You know, we haven't really made a higher low here on the hourly chart in quite a while, so that's good to see. It looks like we're getting a nice little bounce here right off the 604 level. So hopefully we continue to make these higher highs here, and we kind of see a new pattern starting to play out. Nice little turnaround. This kind of looks like a bottom here. So that's pretty exciting. I'm surprised it's holding this 604 level. We'll see what happens. We might, Zen's so volatile, anything can happen. Depends on how much supply is being released. We say it all the time. Can't really do TA on Zen, but I drew that blue buy zone, that line at 6035. We never really went back below it. I missed these wicks here. That was right after Christmas. But we've just been cruising up ever since then. Still holding out for 3.7. Yep, that's where I was at. I was at 6035. That's what this blue line is. And it's good to see, and I'm glad we're still moving on up. So it looks like Zone's getting some movement here. That's kind of interesting. I think people are putting the pieces together. You know, there's this mysterious airdrop, this community airdrop, and then there's also this 50% of the supply of Zone that's not accounted for in the deployer wallet. So I'm not making any assumptions, but I'm kind of feeling like, you know, like I said last night, the pieces are falling together there. So we'll see what happens. So we're seeing some nice price action out of Zone on the hourly chart, or the 4-hour chart here since New Year's Eve. Moving up nicely. Lots of green candles. That's good to see. DBZen. Whoo, look at that. Oh man. DBZen looking beautiful. Last night I said it might come up to this golden pocket, come back and test. It said, nah, we're just going. We're off. We're off to the races. That's awesome. That's great to see. Look at DBZen just cruising up. Got a nice upward channel. And we're back, baby. Back over $1.50, sitting at $1.59. Just about $1.60. So let's zoom out on the daily. I mean, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 daily candles in a row for DBZen. And we called it back here. If you're on the channel, I've been saying, I'm like, man, I need to grab DBZen under 70 cents. We finally grabbed some. I think I'm sitting around 500 DBZen now, which isn't a lot, but that's a lot for me. You know, I just got it staked away. You know, I'm earning, you know, 10, 20 bucks every couple weeks, pulling it out and doing the thing with it. So that's exciting to see. I know a lot of people are bullish on the DBZen marketplace and the buy and burn for Xenon, and there's just a lot happening for DBZen, and it's starting to show up in the charts. That's exciting. See Avalanche DBZen down 8%. And these are just kind of doing the sideways things that they always do. But yeah, look at even Binance DBZen's moving up. Sitting at 3 cents right now. That's exciting. Polygon DBZen at 3.8 cents, and this is waving sideways. We got to wave back. So yeah, let's see. PulseChain DBZen moving up quite a bit, sitting at 10 cents. I've been surprised. I'm still getting some nice PulseChain rewards. Like, I barely have any, but I claimed mine maybe a week or two ago, and I've already earned 100,000 Pulse, which isn't much at all. I mean, what is that, like $5 or something? But I barely have any DBZen staked in there. Oh shit. What's up, new subscriber? Zika. Welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Hell yeah. So what else we got going on here? Titan X down 4%. On the first, we claimed our Titan X miner. We got a nice amount of ETH for it. Moved it over to a Bitcoin. Getting ready for the ETF. We see XNF moving up a little bit, up 6%, flirting with that $3. And yeah, last night on the show, we drew this little cup and handle. It's pretty sloppy. Let's clean this up a bit. But we're kind of going for a couple cup and handle here, and it's kind of looking like it broke out, came back, tested it, and now it's going. So that's exciting to see. Look at XNF making its move. Hopefully its bottom was down here around $2, $1.95. And since then, just since Christmas, just like DBZen, it's been moving on up. So that's exciting. I keep saying it's exciting. Got BXNF sitting at $1.76. That's cruising sideways. Not too much action there. A little bit of liquidity or volume. I wasn't expecting 17K in volume. That's good. That's probably just the cycle every day. You know, people moving in and out. That is what it is. All right. So before we get started with the node, I'm gonna set up a node, but first let's take a look at some of the news popping off. So I got a tickle in my throat. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's take a look. We got quite a lot going on. So as I mentioned, I've been taking a long look at the ordinals and the inscriptions. I've been doing the inscriptions over on Bitcoin, and also the proof of stake inscriptions, which are kind of funny, like the ETH inscriptions and the PulseChain and the inscriptions. But really, I kind of feel like the inscriptions on Bitcoin are the true inscriptions. So there's some big news going on. Yesterday, we were talking about how Unisat is open sourcing their indexer, and they're also working on this Jubilee upgrade. So this is what I couldn't remember to cover yesterday, but as of this morning, so to support the Ordinals Jubilee BRC20 upgrade, they're scheduling a network upgrade from January 5th, 8 UTC to January 6th, 8 UTC. So during this period, the BRC20 market will be temporarily closed. Rest assured, all of their services remain available as normal. And yeah, if you come over to Unisat, check out the BRC20, you'll see that it's actually down right now. So if you click on the marketplace, oh, maybe it's not. Maybe they're already done. That'd be exciting. It was down this morning, so that's good. Was it successful? I'm also not connected. That might be that might be why. Got a wad for that. I like that's funny. It's a funny way to put it. So what do we got over here? There's some pups, some ordi, some V maps. That's funny. Some bitmaps. Bitmaps is always trending. Let's see, what's the lowest bitmap over here? So they're going for about 220, about 0.005 Bitcoin, and that is just crazy to me. That is so cool. That's a really recent one too. What's the most recent block? If we head over to the mempool. Do miners just mine the bitmap and just instantly dump it on the floor? Is that what's happening? So the latest block is 824.545. This is 804.152. So maybe they're done with the upgrade. Let's go take a look at their Twitter. Might be reporting on some old news here. Unisat Wallet 1.2.5 update. Key updates. Inscriptions minimum output amounts settable to 330. Option to disable atomicals when no atomical assets exist. Fixed transfer for inscriptions and ARC20 without available Bitcoin. So that's cool. They got a new wallet update. Definitely want to stay up to date with your wallets. Don't get compromised. Let's ship it. All right. So I need to kind of dive in with this whole Jubilee upgrade is. I believe it has something to do with how it's indexed, and they're making the indexer open, but I really don't know enough to talk about it. So I just noticed the Unisat announcements this morning. The marketplace was down for a bit, but apparently it's back up, so that's good to see. What's the best cold wallet? That's a tricky question. The best cold wallet is really, I would say, an air-gapped wallet. So there's wallets that you don't connect to your computer. They're basically cards with like a randomly generated seed phrase type thing, or it might have a QR code. And yeah, take a look at air-gapped wallets. Those are kind of but they're also the most primitive, so you have to be careful. You don't want to lose your seed phrase. And it's also kind of a pain if certain apps don't support QR codes, or you don't have a device with a camera. You know, it's a bit different. But air gapped are typically the most safe. I personally have a ledger, but I would never recommend anyone get a ledger, especially after all the bullshit that they're doing now. You know, with these, what they like break the seed phrase into different parts and send it to different parts of the country for this backup service they offer, and You know, they say that it's not enabled and you can enable it, but what if they enable it? What if they release a firmware that enables it and they just have everybody's seed phrases? So there's a lot of risk when you have big companies. You know, the big companies just want the profits. They don't really care about your crypto and security. They should. They really should. But, you know, they're public companies. They want products. They want profits. I always skip this song. But okay. So I thought this was interesting earlier today. Someone accidentally sent, well, I don't know if it was on accident. It might have been a tribute. I saw some people saying it was a tribute. Shout out to these guys, Cypher Hoodlum. Satoshi tribute, 26.9 Bitcoin were sent to the Satoshi Bitcoin Genesis block address. Lost coins only make everyone else's coins worth slightly more. Think of it as a donation to everyone. So that's a quote from Satoshi Nakamoto. And yeah, someone sent over 25 Bitcoin to the Satoshi Genesis address. That's crazy. Input amount, 26 Bitcoin. Who would do that? Sailor increasing scarcity? That would be hilarious if Michael Saylor's just destroying his Bitcoin. But I had the... So we can look up the Satoshi Genesis wallet address. So it's right here. This is the Satoshi Nakamoto wallet. If we go over to mempool and we search for it, we can pull it up here, and sure enough, right here, 1/5/2024 at 1 p.m., $1,172,109. Imagine seeing that show up in your wallet one day. How cool would that be? It was Jack, yeah. Sorry guys, X1's canceled. But that's just crazy to me. That's so wild. And not only that, this isn't the first time this happened. So this wallet is now holding 50 Bitcoin. This is the wallet that received the first Bitcoin. So when the Genesis block happened, those mining rewards were sent to this wallet. So if you, I believe, I'm not sure if there's an easy way to go all the way back. I just have to keep scrolling down. Because people send stuff to this wallet all the time. You can see there's all these like inscriptions and stuff in it. There's just these random... Yeah, this is just back to December. Like, how crazy is that? Starting to own things and need to get organized. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I use a ledger. I hate this. I wouldn't recommend that though. You know, Ledger, Trezors, those big companies, the more people use them, the bigger target they become. But they also release updates regularly. They have teams working on it. So definitely recommend that over a hot wallet like MetaMask. Basically, I have my wallets. They never connect to my computer, and I basically just send crypto to those addresses. If I want to play in DeFi, then I'll set it up with my MetaMask, and I'll keep my MetaMask. I keep that seed phrase. I actually have it ingrained on like a plate. Like I scratch the seed phrase into the plate. So that way if the house burns down, I won't lose my seed phrase. I don't use like a cold wallet for my DeFi wallet. That's just a hot wallet. But when I get profit and I take profit, I send it from my hot wallet to my Ledger address, which never touches the internet. And that's basically how I do that. That's the move. Exactly. At least Treasure has fully open source software. That's right. There's some other ones like a EliPal. That's a popular wallet. There's like a... Putting me on the spot. I can't think of any other ones. There's like the EliPal. There's SafePal, Trezor, Ledger. There's all kinds. It's really, the nice thing about the Treasure is it is open sourced, but that also kind of puts a target on their back. Everybody has the software, but that definitely is better. The open source is better. There's no question there. I definitely recommend it, especially for your big bags, your long-term bags. Keep that in a cold wallet, keep that offline, and mess around with Zen and DeFi and Ethereum and all that stuff, all the side chains with like a hot wallet that you only keep a little bit in. So we have some updates on the PulseScriptions. I've been having fun on PulseChain. There's not too much to do on PulseChain and it's kind of bearish, but they recently released these inscriptions and we've been having a blast over there. The thing is with the PulseScriptions, there's no marketplace yet, but the dev seems dedicated and he seems to be building very fast. So currently testing bulk listing, buy and sale functions. Marketplace shaping up faster than expected. Get ready for launch ahead of schedule, anticipated on or before January 10th. So this is kind of a cool little thing. You create these little inscriptions and it is interesting that there's tokens, but for me, the images are kind of the cool part of the whole thing. So I've been inscribing images. Really last weekend, I spent all weekend inscribing these images. So if you come over to PulseScriptions.com, and you can see these are live inscriptions happening right now. So, created 3 seconds ago, 10 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago. So people are inscribing very, very fast, and it has a lot of traction right now. And yesterday I was in a Twitter space, and all these Pulse people started coming in there and asking questions about it. And it was kind of the first wave, and I'm like, holy shit! All these Zenians were in here so early. Shout out to Iceman and Numbers and Hexy and all the people in the Twitter spaces. We started on these PulseScriptions over a week ago, and now the community's starting to wake up to it. And just look at this. Now there's over 1 million inscriptions on PulseChain. So I like to come over here and switch it to image, and you can see these hilarious images, all these memes popping up. People are putting their own pictures on here now. It's so cheesy. But you can go way back here. So let's... Actually, I think I have some links I saved. Double check here. Oh god. So let's see what I got saved here. Oh yeah, this is pretty funny. So first we got... I was really focusing on the memes. So I inscribed this one. Shout out to the Zenians. Shout out to the XenBlocks miners. I'm in it for the technology. I thought that was pretty funny. But then the next night I decided to top it off with something even more meme-ish. I grabbed a screenshot of the stream of the PulseScription and inscribed the screenshot of me pointing at the inscription on stream. So I thought that was kind of funny, just teasing around, having some fun. But yeah, it's a lot of fun over here. There's a lot of stupid shit. I also inscribed the Bitcoin mushrooms. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see if I can. We got the the PulseChain guys, Jack Levin and Eric Wall. I thought that was hilarious. I threw that on chain. I had to throw that on chain. Oops, didn't mean to stop the music. Let's get back to the music. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I also lost the YouTube window, so I can't see the chat right now. But I've been having fun over here. It's a lot of fun playing over here on the PulseScriptions, doing all kinds of stupid shit. Threw a Tree City West hashhead.io up there. And yeah, we're just having fun, doing the thing. What's up, Richard Budai? What's up, Globetrotter? Zone, what do you think? I was kind of giving my thoughts on Zone earlier. It's like I don't want to say the wrong thing and give people the wrong impression. Like I don't have any information. I'm just completely guessing and making some funny assumptions. But just the fact that we have a big supply of Zone that is owned by the deployer, and we have this new airdrop for the community, something tells me those two things are related. Is this the half of the supply of Zone going to be reserved for the community airdrop? which can then be turned into X1 or kept as zone or something like that. Yeah, that's really intriguing idea to me. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but what's up, Morrow? Well, shout out to Wes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the nice words. But let's get into it. So I also want to run through the node setup, and I'm gonna be honest, I have the... So last night on the stream, we were checking out Hashhead. Whoops, not hash.com, Hashhead. We were checking out Hashhead, and I have the XenBlocks Explorer, and it's basically been dead. It's running so slow. So we're gonna do some maintenance on the VPS tonight. So you can see this barely works. It takes forever to load. I realized that I haven't logged into the VPS in so long. It's been at least, it was before Christmas probably. It might even be before Thanksgiving. I've just kind of had this thing running ever since I made the Explorer. So tonight I want to log into the VPS. We're going to reboot the VPS, and then we're going to set up a node on the VPS. So this XenBlocks Explorer, which doesn't work anyway. It's kind of working. It's trying to spin up here. It's just the database is also getting so big that it's extremely slow. So I don't think this is going to be a reliable solution for much longer. I also want to redo the Hashhead site. This is kind of looking old to me. I want to get something better looking. The community deserves more. So right now I'm in my Contabo site. I just don't want to put it on the screen so you can see the IP. Okay. So we're going to use WSL to connect to... Uh-oh. I might not remember the password. Hey, there we go. Okay. Cool. All right, so we got all kinds of shit happening. What is this? We got errors happening. So the sync node's running. That's good. This was supposed to be monitoring the GPUs, but since I've definitely stopped and replaced those a few times. Also, it looks like I did set up the X1 node here, but we're gonna reset that. Let me do this real quick. Why don't we... Just want to make sure I have this script backed up real quick. So we got... Which one is this? This is the monitor. Okay, so we have this VPS here, and we're going to reboot this, and then we're going to set up the X1 node. Let me just make sure I have this backed up. All right, down she goes. Cool. Okay. Getting all the things situated before we start this. Tad 8, perfect timing. I'm actually doing the node video right now. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to cut this out and paste it, but I'm just resetting my VPS before we get started. So this will actually be a fresh VPS completely. And just have to send the reboot. All right, so we're back here. Waiting for the VPS to reboot. See if we can reconnect here. Okay, so now we're back inside our Contabo VPS, And we're going to run through this whole node setup thing. So I'm going to put the Contabo on the left side. Let's pull this down a little bit so you can see it. Pull this up. So the link that you're going to want to follow I might just turn the music off for this as well. Makes it a little easier to clip. I don't know if I could do it in the silence though. That's a bit much. Okay, so all right, today we're going to talk about the Go X1 node setup. So I'm going to throw the link in the chat here. Check the link down in the description and let's get started. So we have our Contabo VPS here, and we also have our Go X1 GitHub. And the first thing we're going to need to do is clone the GitHub. And basically what the cloning of the GitHub does is pull the GitHub files directly onto your computer. So I'm going to remove the Go X1 folder. So when we come over to the GitHub, we're just going to start right on the top, running the full node testnet. And the first command we're going to run in our Linux VPS here. So this is a Contabo VPS, some modest specs, nothing too crazy. I'm also running the monitor program and the email server on this VPS for the member alerts. So shout out to the hash heads. And so we're just going to run through these commands real quick. So first we're going to run the apt update. This will update the packages that you have installed on your computer. It's going to make sure you have the latest versions of things like Python and all the things that are installed. Then we're going to install the prerequisites with this next command. So apt install -y golang wget git and make. So each one of these is a different Python, or each one of these is a different Linux program. So we have the Go language program. We have the wget program, which is allows you to download files from the internet. We have the git, which allows you to grab things from GitHub, and then make, which allows you to compile programs. So we're going to go ahead and run the apt install golang wget make. What's up, Tadev? I'll buy you a coffee maker when Zen thousands X. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So we went ahead and we ran the apt install. This was really quick for me because I had everything already installed. So it just runs through the install and tells me it's all good. So now that we have Linux updated, we have our prerequisites installed, include golang, wget, git, and make. Now we can start running these programs that we installed. So the first command is git clone branch x1, and then the URL of the GitHub that I put in the chat. This command will copy the entire GitHub directly to a folder called Go X1. So I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. And it's going to use that new Git program that we installed. And now it's downloading it from the internet. So boom, 100%, resolved all the objects, downloaded at 20 megs a second. We're good. So now we type cd go x1 to go into the program folder. Now you can see the prompt changed. It says / go x1. That tells us that we're in the Go X1 folder. Now the next step is where I always have the issues. So we're going to try to get this to work the first try. We're going to run make x1. And if it doesn't work, we'll troubleshoot it. If it does work, I'll show you the troubleshooting steps that I have to go through anyway. So okay, so there we go. So cannot load, malformed module, path embed missing, dot and first path element, make file x1 error. So obviously I'm having some kind of error here. Typically this error 1 happens when you have the wrong version of x1 installed. So I love to use ChatGPT when I'm playing around with this stuff. We'll go ahead and go into ChatGPT and we're going to type in, what is the Linux command to check the version of Golang? And the reason why I want to check the version of Golang is because the X1 node requires at least 1.2. And for some reason, by default, it wants to install 1.13. So if I hit Go version, you can see I have Go version Go 1.13.8. So that's not going to work. That's a problem. We need this to be up to, I think the latest version of Go is 1.25, and we have 1.13. So we're really far behind. It's not good to be behind in your updates. You want to make sure that you have the latest updates. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I'm going to say, the latest version of Golang is 1.2. What is the command? What are the commands to download and install Golang 1.2? So just to pause, just to see where we're at right now. So we downloaded the files from the GitHub, we ran the make command, and we received this error. We're receiving this error because I ran the Go version command, and it's telling us we're at 1.13, but we need to be at 1.2. So now I'm asking ChatGPT, the latest version of Golang is 1.2. What are the commands? So it says you can download the Go 1.2 archive from the Go page, extract the archive. So first we have to find the version of Go. So I might use Google for this one. I'm going to say download command for latest version of Go on Ubuntu. And it should hit me up how to install Go. And it's going to be a wget command. So this one's using curl, but this is only 1.16. I think we can just use the same URL though. So let's try this. So I'm going to copy this URL. And this is what I mean by this part is always the hardest for me. I can never seem to find the right command. So if I pop this in here, I'm going to type Go 1.2. This might work, this might not. What is the latest version of Golang? So the latest... So it's 1.21.5. So if I type in 1.21.5 and leave everything else the same, this should work. So if I come back here, I'm going to type this curl command, curl-ol, and then the URL of the golang.org update path. And boom, it's downloading the file. It downloaded a 67 megabyte tarball. And now we can actually run this sudo command to extract the tarball. So we're going to go sudo tar c user local xzf go 1.2. What was it? 21.5 .linux -amd 64 -tar.gz. So all this command does, this is similar to extracting a zip file. So we're using the tarball command to extract the tar.gz file. And this basically, so it didn't find the file. So let's try again. Oh, I put an extra period in there. So you see it's Go 1.21.5 Linux AMD, Go 1.2. Okay, so let's try it again. It should extract the file now. Boom. So that extracted the file, puts it in the user local file, and now we have to tell the system to use that file. So we can edit the following path in our bash rc file. So we're familiar with the nano command when we have to update our miner. We're going to update our bash rc file this time to use this new version of Go. So I'm going to type in nano squiggly /.bash rc. I spell it right. And boom. So now we're in this bash rc file. I'm going to just scroll all the way to the bottom. And now I'm going to paste this export path user local go bin, because that's where we installed our Go version. So this is telling us that the path to the version of Go we just installed is on this path. So now we're going to save this file. We're going to exit. And now we can verify our installation by typing in Go version. And it's still the old version. And this is where I was... I followed the commands, but it's still listing the old version. So now we got to ask ChatGPT why, if we extracted the file and updated the bash RC. Oh, I have to reload the bash RC. That's the one thing. I forgot this line right here. So after adding this line, run source squiggly bash RC. So I forgot this. That's why it didn't work. What this does is it refreshes your system variables and reloads the files. So by running this source, it's going to reload that bash RC file we just edited. And now we still have the old version. Motherfucker. So we might have multiple installations. So we're going to follow this. Which Go? Ah, so it's user bin Go. So pop that in here, see what this says. Indicates the Go binary is being used located in the user bin, which is different from the standard installation. This is likely why you're still seeing the old version. To resolve this, you need to adjust your path environment variable so the shell finds the new Go binary. So let's go and try it again. So we got to open our nano bash RC. And let's see if this path is different than what we just added. So we got export path. Ah, yeah, it is. So we'll remove this. And that's user local go bin colon path. So that is a little different than what it gave us the first time. So we're going to go ahead and save this, overwrite it, wrote 105 lines. And then we have to apply the change. So we run our source command again. That works successfully. And now if we type go version, we're at 1.21.5. Woohoo! That worked. All right, so now we're at the correct Go version. That is by far the hardest part of getting this thing to work. Getting your node up to 1.21.5. Now that we have the Golang version 1.21.5 installed, I'll run the make x1. And we still got the same error. Oh, I have to, so, okay. So we also have to update the Go mod. Updates to Go mod are needed. To update it, run go mod tidy. So this is a command that will actually read the path and it'll kind of download the prerequisites, clean up the installation files, and just tidy up the installation. It'll find what's missing and add it, download it, fix it. It's kind of like the Python install commands, like pip. So we'll type in go mod tidy. Or maybe that's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of a different command. That was way too quick. But now let's try go make x1. Or just make x1. So we typed make x1 and it's thinking pretty hard here. I believe it's building the x1. So first we use wget, and I used curl, but wget you can also use to download files. We used git to get the GitHub, and now we just use make to compile. So now it's compiling the actual node software. So once we make the x1 file, then we can run the cp build. It'll tell it to use that go, and then we can run the node. So we'll just let this hang out for a second. It's doing its thing. I'm going to take a sip of water. What you guys talking about in the chat? Just grabbed another 2 billion Zen. This dip is awesome. Hell yeah. I got 2 billion staked right now. That's what's up. I'm late. My Zenify on desktop not working, but mobile app. I cleaned out my desktop kind of. I have a lot of issues with Zenify just because it uses so much graphics. It's like so advanced. It kills my computer. It really does. There are a lot of steps. Are you upgrading? Yeah. Yep. I just hit a link from the Golang website, make sure it's compatible with my desktop, and that was it. That's good. That's good. I'm actually using this Contabo VPS, which is not on my desktop. So keep that in mind. I'm actually connected to this machine. I believe this one's in Germany. So this is not actually my local desktop. But if you're running it right on your command prompt on your local desktop, you can download the Golang right from Windows. That's nice. This is complicated as fuck. I feel it's at ape. It's not. It's just, if you ask ChatGPT, how do I update to Go 1.2? That's the hard part. It's like, that has nothing to do with the node though. Once you get the correct version installed, it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of like the miners. It is a little advanced if you're not used to command line, but once you have the correct version of Go installed, now we can run. So we just finished running the make command, and now we can run the cp build x1, and it'll build the node. Okay, so now we're ready to run it, and there's a few different ways to run it. The reason why I like to use the VPS, the Contabo VPS, that's not on my local computer, and it's not on my local network. You can run the RPC server, which opens it up to the world. It's like a true validator, and I don't want it like connecting to my house, so I run it in this VPS. So let's see what happens here. Let's make this nice and big. So we're running the command x1 testnet http, which is the HTTP RPC. That's the IP address, allows any IP address into your system to talk to your node. And boom, we're flying. Uh-oh. Something happened. Oh, load disk space. I think I have the old version and I have to clear out the file. Let's see what this means. Maybe that's why the database is struggling so bad. I don't have any disk space. I'm not too familiar if empty the trash. Also, how to view available disk space. Damn, now I have to open another miner. It's addicting, right? What are the requirements to run a node? Really, it's not much. I think I used up all my disk space, so it's telling me I'm out of disk space. That's just it's because I'm running the here, let's take a look. Yeah, I'm like, I got nothing. This is 47 gigs with 40 gigs. It has less than 6 gigs free. So let's clear some temporary files. We'll install this temp reaper. Then we'll run the temp reaper to clean up our temp files. And now what are we looking at? 5.2 gigs. All right. I bet it's one of the nodes. Let's see here. Why do I have this GPU miner on here? All right, so rm-rd zen GPU miner, that'll delete that. Delete the Zen miner. And that should give us plenty. Plenty. No, nothing. It's all because of that database, damn it. It's the Metabase jar. So I'm just cleaning up some old files, trying to get some more disk space to get this node running. So we can wrap up the video. Is that miner being used for something else right now? You mean on my computer? Or on this? On my VPS? This is the XenBlocks Explorer. So the XenBlocks Explorer is currently down right now. But here, let's see this. This looks interesting. Show me the big files. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so now what are we looking at? So we got about 5.7 gigs free, which is not much at all. Let's see if it'll run again. Load disk space. I think you only need a couple gigs. You probably only need like 10 or 12, but I have the... So I have the monitor and the SupaSync and the VAST Notify. Should I just upgrade the Contabo real quick? I think it's pretty cheap. Add some more disk space to my VPS. Yeah, I'm learning new stuff every day. I've never had a disk space problem on Ubuntu server. That's kind of new to me. How do I... All right, so let's just get rid of the Metabase. I remove Metabase. How do I remove Postgres? All right, so I'm officially saying goodbye. I'm retiring the XenBlocks Explorer with the Metabase. Hashhead will still show your... should still show your... It will still show your balances. But the Explorer is going to go away. No, so this is like my private server in the cloud. So I have a bunch of other stuff. This isn't a fresh one. I'm going to remove... There we go. All right, we're saying goodbye to the Postgres database. It wasn't working very well anyway. It was too slow. Best to just use that.pub. Shout out to Joseph. Okay, so now what are we looking at for disk space? So we got df-h. Now we have 23 gigs available. That's much better. Much better. Okay. All right, so we're going to go back to video mode here. Okay. All right, so now that we've updated Go version to Go 1.2, 1.5, we're ready to start the miner. and you have a couple options to start your miner. You have the XenBlocks miner just running the node, which is x1-testnet. Then you have XenBlocks miner with reporting enabled. That's --testnet --XenBlocks-endpoint, and it connects to XenBlocks.io to enable the reporting. Then you can also run it with the RPC server enabled. And then there's the full version where you're running an RPC that's open to the world. You should only run this one if you know what you're doing. Don't run it on your local machine. Run it on a cloud server that doesn't have data that you're not worried about losing, because there's always the chance you'll get hacked. So let's pop it in here. We'll go ahead and enter this command. So we got the x1-testnet-http. We're allowing the ports. We got the IP address. And now that we've cleared up our disk space issue, this should run. And now we see it talking. We're talking to other nodes. We see blocks coming in. We see some things happening. We see new blocks coming in so fast. New DAG summary, new LLR summary. I'm not sure what an LLR summary is. So Craig Crypto says, you like Contabo better than Vast. So Contabo isn't a GPU miner. So this is just, these are more of a private server. So this is basically, if you wanted to do a CPU miner, this is what we were doing CPU mining on. However, these are much cheaper than a GPU. So these aren't rented by the hour, they're rented by the month. So you can get this little cheap cloud VPS for $5 a month. It has 4 CPU cores, 6 gigs of RAM, 100 gig NVMe data storage. And that's about as cheap as you can get for a private server. So this cloud server is out on the internet. I don't have control of it. It's in the Contabo cloud, but it's extremely cheap, and I can do things like run a full node where I don't have to worry about compromising the security of my home network. I just have it sitting on the cloud with a bunch of stupid data that I don't care if anyone sees, but I'm letting the node run to keep the network strong. Did you Tmux or no hup it? No, I didn't. I actually should. That's a good point. So let's pause this node. Get back in video mode here. All right, so now that we tested the mode and we saw... All right, so now that we tested the node and we saw the node was running, I like to run the node in Tmux, which is the terminal multiplexer, and this allows you to rejoin this session later. So if you run it directly in your console, once you close your console, you disconnect, it's going to stop the node. If you want to run it in Tmux, it'll actually keep it running in that terminal multiplexer, even if you disconnect, even if you close your console session. And then later you can rejoin the Tmux session. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So we just exited our node. Now we're back at our command line. To start a Tmux session, all you have to do is type in TMUX or Tmux. Now we're inside of the Tmux session. You can see that because of the green bar across the bottom, and we can actually use our Control B commands. So there's a couple different commands. If I hit Control B S, Control B at the same time, and then S, you can actually see all the windows with Tmux in your Tmux session. You can actually add windows. There's different hotkeys to do different things. You can split the windows. You can divide the windows in half. You can set up a bunch of different windows. Let's see if I can remember. Let me look this up real quick. That's percentage. So one of the cool commands you can run with Tmux is Control B, and then you hit the percentage key. And this will actually split your Tmux window into 2 different windows horizontally. If I want to exit, I just exit. It brings me back to the main Tmux window. If I want to split it horizontally, I'll do Control B plus. Maybe? Oh, it's X. If I want to split it horizontally, we'll go Control B X. Oh no, it's double quote. If we want to split it horizontally, we'll go double quote, Control B. Okay, cool. So we have a couple of different ways to split it. If we hit Control B percentage, we split it vertically. If we hit Control B quote, we split it horizontally. And then we can use Control B up and down to switch between the two windows. So one way you can use this in the top, if I wanted to run the node. So one way you might use this if you want to run the node in the top pane, you can paste your node command in there. Motherfucker. So I got to go back into the Go X1 before I start it. So one way you might want to use this is to run. No. Falling down the rabbit hole. There we go. Okay. So one way you might want to use this is you'll run your try it again. This is how I make videos too, kind of giving you a glimpse of what it's like when I'm making the informative videos. So one way you might use this, you'll split your windows horizontally, and then in the top, I'll type in CD Go X1. Then I'll start my X1 node on the top. Motherfucker. All right, so we're going to reset the Go database here. Hey, shout out to the $5 from Craig Crypto. Thank you so much. Hell yeah.
All right, let's fucking hash.
Reset Golang database. No, that's not what I... Let's see what this says. Failed to make engine. Cache allocation warning. Suggests that your system has an insignificant amount of memory. I'm low on memory. Let's try HTOP, see if anything's running right now. All right. Give her the old reboot. Been wanting to see node setup. So what I'm actually doing right now, Rolando, is I'm kind of going through the setup, but I'm going to clip this so it's a lot easier to understand. I'm kind of setting some things up as I go through it. All right, so we're back in our node here, and I'm just explaining the tmux piece. So we'll split this here. Okay. So one way you might want to split your windows is having... One way you might want to split your window is to have your tmux... One way you might want to split your windows is to have your... Motherfucker. One way you might want to split your windows with tmux is to have the node running on the top. And then have HTOP running on the bottom. And then you can monitor system resources while the node is running on the top. And it kind of gives you the option. Geez, that's messy. What is happening? I'm inside of a... There we go. Okay. So now I have my window split with HTOP on the bottom, monitoring system resources. So then I can see if I'm running low on RAM or disk space or memory or CPU while the node is running in the top pane. And then what I can do is hit Control B S, and it can switch me between the windows, but that's not what I want. And then I can hit Control B D, and it takes me back to the main window. And then from here, I can quit. I can exit out of my SSH session, close my SSL window, and go back to my desktop. Close my SSH window and go back to my desktop. And now, say I go to another computer, I go to work for the day, I come home, I want to check on my node. Now I'll go back into my command prompt. I'll open WSL. I'll run the SSH command to connect. I'll type in my password. And all I have to do is type in tmux attach. And it brings me right back to the session that I left running earlier that day. So that's pretty much how you run through the node setup. The hardest part, as you observed, is definitely getting the correct version of Go. By default, it wants to install 1.13, but you need 1.2 at least. So I covered the steps on how to upgrade your version of Go from 1.13 to 1.2. And then we executed the node. We created the node file with the make command. And then we ran it in our tmux session. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, thank you for watching Tree City. What's my name? Thank you for watching Tree City West. All right, so that's basically how the video will end. And yeah, so I'll edit that up after the live stream here, and we'll have a little node instructional video. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry if that was painful in any way. That's usually how those videos work. I'll end up saying the same thing over and over and over again. But definitely had some requests for that one, so I wanted to get that out there. Next steps will be to edit it and get it up on YouTube. So now you can see yourself on ZenPub. I should be able to, yeah. So let's go take a look. So if I come over to Zen.pub, now I'm not sure how often this updates. I guess it is a live listener, right? So what I can do here is I'm going to open another tmux command, and I'm going to run the command. What is the Ubuntu command to check my external public IP? ifconfig. Okay. So if I come back here, I'll type in ifconfig apt install nettools. Okay, so now I'm installing this little utility. So this is my public IP here, 209.145.56.164. So if I come over to Joseph's Zen.pub, was it the geo nodes? I don't see it yet, but it probably takes some time to update. It says last hour. So this might update like once an hour? Is that? what was it? It was 209,145. So we don't have a 209,145 yet. But hopefully it'll show up in there. That's kind of cool. Well, we'll be watching this. We'll come back tomorrow. So now you notice I exited the TMUX session. To get back in there, I'll just type in TMUX attach. And boom, now we're back here seeing these new blocks pile in. It looks like it's still indexing. Maybe that's why I don't see. Once this gets caught up, you can see it's like it's 25 days and 16 hours behind, and it's slowly updating. Once this gets fully updated, I imagine I'll show up on that list. But just watching and hoping something will stick. Have to rewind several times. I feel it, Nomad. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here learning. I'm learning right along with you. So we're all in this together. So just on that note, I did remove the Explorer. So after the stream, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play around with the hashhead.io, but this XenBlocks Explorer dashboard is no more. RIP. Database got too big, dashboard got too slow, but this will still work. So if you come in here, you paste your address, you hit check account, you'll be able to see your rank, your mining statistics, all that fun stuff. I am going to try to clean this up, give it a little better presentation. So that's going to be one of my goals this weekend, but no promises there. We'll see what happens. You can also come over here, add the XenBlocks network and the tokens to your MetaMask. Just hit these buttons here. And then we also have the XenBlocks links. So we have the link to the Zen.pub dashboard. We got the official miners, got the official Telegram and the official leaderboard. Feel free to come over here to hashhead.io. You can always buy me a coffee if you want to support the channel. I appreciate the super chat, Craig Crypto. That's always awesome. Thank you so much. Pretty cool now you can see your name down there on the bottom. That's awesome. About to use the Hashhead website. My MetaMask tripping. I feel it. I feel it. Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've been going for about an hour. Oh, hell yeah, Richard. Thank you so much. He said if you need help with the graphics, let him know. I might. I like my black and green. What do you mean? This looks amazing. I like the black background with very bright matrix green with some bright blue. It's beautiful. All right, guys. I hope you have a good, safe Friday night. I'm going to go hang out with the wife. I believe RuPaul's Drag Race is on right now, so we're going to go catch that. But I hope you guys have a good evening. I will be back tomorrow. Might try to slide in a members video tomorrow. I know I keep saying that, but I owe you guys one. We'll do a portfolio update, especially after the recent pumps. We can see how the percentages in the portfolio changed over time. And then we'll talk about Zen in the live stream tomorrow. So I hope you have a good Friday night. Hope you have a good Saturday, and we will be back tomorrow. My name is Tree City Wes. I hope you stay Zen. Peace.
Yeah.